So, good morning to you, and good morning or good day to any person listening to us. Today, I have the privilege of talking to my very good friend I met at University of Birmingham, Dr. Nnaji. Dr. Nnaji is a scholar of Commonwealth Split Scholarship. So today he's going to talk to us about his journey to securing the scholarship so that people can learn and secure the scholarship if they want to, just like him. So I've just said he's Dr. Nnaji, but if he can briefly tell us his name, his background, because I've just called one name. I'm not able to pronounce the other names.
Yeah.
So your name, your academic journey, and any other thing you want to add.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Andrew, for having me. It's an honor to be on this platform with you to have this type of discussion. Like you rightly said, my name is Nnaji Darlington Nnaji. I have a BSc, I have an MSc and PhD in microbiology from the University of Nigeria. And then, like you mentioned, my PhD was supported by the Commonwealth Split Site PhD scholarship, which gave me the opportunity to carry out my research placement at the University of Birmingham. So basically what I did was my bench work for the period of 1 year I spent at the School of Chemical Engineering, University of Birmingham. So in terms of my research expertise, I work broadly in environmental and then applied microbiology. And then my research is centrally focused on bioremediation of pollutants in the environment from hydrocarbons, heavy metals. I also do some research around antimicrobial technologies, where we try to see technologies that will help kill off microorganisms, to help prevent the spread of microorganisms and then curb antimicrobial resistance. Also work on food safety, and then research around the microbial inactivation systems. So at the moment, I'm involved in teaching at BSc and MSc level at the University of Birmingham, where I teach the food and microbe module for the food safety and hygiene management program at the School of Chemical Engineering. So I also teach modules on sustainable food system, and then any other topics that could maybe assigned to me. Also, I did have a previous role as a research associate at the University of Birmingham, where I worked on projects like the ones I mentioned about the antimicrobial LED systems for bacteria inactivation. I also did take a part in research projects where we wanted to see how to ensure safe food transition and then food safety at home, especially for food businesses and food banks that donate food. Then in terms of my research output, I have over 20 peer-reviewed publications and book chapters covering areas that I just mentioned now: antimicrobial resistance, environmental microbiology, and then microbial systems in public health. And then for my teaching, I have received recognition as a fellow of the Higher Education Academy, and I actively contribute to the academic community as a journal reviewer, journal editor, and I'm also a member of professional bodies in microbiology society and some chemical engineering bodies. For example, I'm a member of Royal Society of Biology, Microbiology Society, Applied Microbiology International, and then International Institution of Chemical Engineers. These are places I get involved to share knowledge and to further develop myself in my area of research. So in a nutshell, that's me.
Thank you so much. That's way packed. You are really busy, and I can see you do a lot of things. Before we continue, there was somebody I was talking to. You talked about being member of some organizations, some societies in your area. So I was talking to this person. He's a research fellow, somebody I expect to have known certain things about research, certain things about how the scientific community operates. So I was introducing him to Royal Society of Chemistry, which I'm a member. And he told me that this is a waste of time and resources. He doesn't need to be a member of that. That is just going to take his money. He's not going to benefit anything. So I laughed. I said, please join this society. It's for your own good. Do you have anything to say about this if somebody is thinking like that?
I don't think it's a waste of resources. And then some of these bodies, they even have a way, they have waivers for persons if you do not, for students maybe, or maybe you just graduated, you haven't got a job. So most of them have a way of getting it done for you free. For instance, when I joined the Institute of Chemical Engineers, I didn't pay anything. I joined as an affiliate, so they did understand that I just finished the time I joined, I just finished my program, and they saw I wanted to be part of what they are doing. So why these things are important is because you get to, for instance, Royal Society of Biology, there's something they are doing now which is free, where you have the opportunity to talk to get mentors, people who have gone ahead of you,
Yes,
and then they
yes,
speak to you about so many things. The one I'm interested in now, they'll talk to you about interviews. You discuss how you go about
yes,
interviews, how you can
yes.
go and do interviews, and then what is expected of you on interviews. And then they advertise a lot of trainings, some of them which are free. So, and you
Many
can
of
learn, yeah, many trainings. So
many
there are
of
a
the
lot of
trainings
things.
in
Yeah.
many of the trainings in Royal Society of Chemistry are free.
Mm. So there
Yeah,
are a lot of things you won't just find out there, but once you're within that kind of society, you are exposed to a lot of information that are very important for your personal development. So it's a good thing to be part of different bodies like this.
now you've just talked about interview. Do you know that to hire somebody to train you for interview privately, you will need nothing less than £300.
Yeah, well, those things are very expensive.
Okay, if you check online, people running career, high school career guidance online,
Yeah.
you check how much they are charging. Some of them charge as much as £500, £1,000, just to teach you how to interview. And then you spend like 100 or £150, and somebody is there guiding you through interview. So apparently it's not a waste of time, it's not a waste of resources. There is a lot you can gain.
Yeah, and this £150 you pay is for a year. You have a year to learn a lot of things, to get a lot of things from people who have gone ahead of you. So it's worth it.
And sometimes I find it difficult to attend all the webinars and trainings available to me because of
Yeah.
time. Right. So who are the funders of Commonwealth Split Scholarship?
Okay, the Commonwealth Split Side Scholarship is funded by the CSC, that's the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission in the United Kingdom. They also get support from the UK government's international and development education funding programs. So the scholarship is designed to support students from eligible Commonwealth countries to study in the UK as part of their doctoral training. So talking about funders, the CAC is mainly the funder. But then when I came to the for my program, I learned something. I think the funding is in partnership with the university, the university where you be undertaking your research. So I think it's a 80-20% something, but it's full funding, you're not paying anything. So but I think the CSC takes off 80% of the funding, and then the university where you be undertaking your research also takes 20% of your refund. So in the course of the discussion, I think we were going to talk about why all of this information are important in getting the scholarship.
Excellent. I didn't know about that.
I
So,
didn't know about that either until I came here.
right. So who is this scholarship for? This split scholarship? Who is it for?
Yeah, I just mentioned that it's designed to support students from eligible Commonwealth countries to study in UK as part of their doctoral training. So the idea is that you're already doing your PhD in your home country, in the
Right.
eligible Commonwealth country, and maybe you've done your first year, and then you want to come and do your second year in the UK. Maybe the part of your research is something you want to come and do your second year, and then you plan it in a way that, okay, by your second year, you should be in the UK doing the research. It could be your third year, it could be your final year. So, but it's just a 12 months program. So you must be doing your PhD from your home country, and then you want to go do your research. So it's intended for talented and academically qualified persons from these commonwealth countries who would otherwise not be able to, afford to study in the UK. So, and then if your research can contribute to the development of your home country, so you should be able to show how your research should be able to contribute to developing your home country. So then, if you meet all of these criteria, then you are good to go to apply for the Commonwealth Place Site Scholarship.
Right. Is there any university that is eligible if, for example, you're studying in your home country? Let's take Nigeria, for example, where we've both come from.
Yeah.
Are there specific universities that you have to be studying there
No.
to be eligible for this scholarship?
No. From what I know, there are no eligible university. As long as you're doing your PhD in a recognized university in this Commonwealth country, then you're eligible for this program.
Right. Is there a particular research area that they are more interested in, or it can be any research area, provided it has the potential to impact your home country?
I think the Commonwealth has 6 teams where your research should be focused on. For me, I think was science and technology for development. Then they also have, I think, strengthening health systems and capacity. There's another team on promoting global prosperity. There's another one on strengthening global peace, security, and governance. Then one on access, inclusion, and opportunity. I can't remember the last one. So if your research fits into any of these teams, and then it is addressing about 3 SDGs, then you're good to go and to apply for this scholarship.
Excellent. Talking about SDGs, I wanted to comment on that as well. A lot of people who are taking their doctoral studies, they just pick any topic without looking at the SDGs. That is PhD for PhD's sake, not addressing anything. So from what you have said, if somebody is planning to somehow or someday apply for this scholarship, the best thing to do would be to, first of all, look at the themes on the Commonwealth scholarship, perhaps the split one, look at the themes that are eligible for funding and for this scholarship, and then look at the SDGs, how they relate.
Exactly.
To make their application strong, if I understand what you are saying correctly.
Yeah, that's exactly, because you mistake that most people make is, okay, I want to do a PhD, and without direction, your PhD should be solving a problem. So, and then the problems that we're facing globally, they are under different themes, and then there are other different SDGs. So the problem your research intends to address, it should be linked to one of these themes or one of these SDGs. So it shows that you know what is going on globally, and then you know how you want to make an impact through your research.
Right. So if somebody is listening to us and they don't know what SDGs are, you can Google it. It's very simple. It will take you to their site, SDGs.
Yeah.
You will know everything you need to know about it because it's broad. We can't cover it here. That's not the focus of this conversation. So how did you know about the scholarship? You see that somebody introduced you, or when you were starting your PhD, you knew that something like this exists and you started to pursue it, or it was during your PhD that you came to realize that there is something like this?
Okay, I think I was lucky to have some brilliant minds around me, from my master's time to my PhD. So at an early stage, I started writing, publications, and from writing publications, I read other people's publications, I see what they do, the kind of research they do, and I see some of the methodologies, and I like, we don't have this here, we don't have these facilities here. I want to do this kind of thing. I want to even do something better, but I can't do my this kind of research if I did my PhD here. So I started looking out for opportunities on how to get a scholarship to go outside to do my PhD. So I first learned about this commonwealth through my university and academic network. While asking these questions, they were like, you can still do your PhD in Nigeria, and then hopefully you get a commonwealth place scholarship. If there's any part of your research that you're not able to do in our lab here, you can take it outside if you are successful with this scholarship, and then you do it. So that was how I learned about this scholarship. So basically it came from, the interest, asking questions, wanting to know more on how to better what I was doing. So I later confirmed the details through the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission website after I've gotten this basic information.
Right, thank you. And that enforces or re-emphasizes some of the things I've been saying. If you want a PhD, it's not just PhD for PhD's sake. Every university, every department, every faculty, especially in our countries, in our countries where we've come from, there are people who have insight into some of these things.
Yeah.
There are people who have had the opportunity to benefit from these things. There are people who have studied internationally, studied abroad. Speak to them if you are interested in this kind of scholarships. Speak to them. They might be able to tell you one or two things that will help you. So your network as well. Nnaji said he was surrounded by people who were good at research. So there is something I believe, if I'm doing something, I should do it very well. There is no point spending your time doing something that you can't do very well. There is no need spending your energy. There is no need wasting your time. If you've decided to do something, do it very well. So if you have decided that you want to have a PhD, you want to go into doctoral studies, talk to people who you know can help with this kind of information. As we are giving this information here, we're having this conversation here. You can pick it up from here, speak to other people. You can talk to us as well. We can surely guide you. Right. So I think you talked about motivation. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to bother you about motivation again.
Yeah. Maybe
So what particularly motivated you?
Yeah, I think to emphasize what I was just talking about, doing something that is meaningful, that could show the impact in developing my home community. So I was also motivated by the opportunity to work in an environment where there are strong links with my home institution. But this is something I wanted to talk about as well. The Commonwealth Split Size Scholarship is not just okay, I'm doing my PhD and then you find a university somewhere. In the course of preparing, I think I was preparing myself, but I didn't know, some of the things I did, like that about research. I was also working with someone the university University of Birmingham, for instance, and I was doing some publications. I didn't know that was going to be of help to me. So because I was doing something with this person, when I mentioned about the Commonwealth Space Scholarship, the person was like, we have the facilities here, we can do this, and then we can publish papers on this, and we can address this problem. This is important, for my project, for instance. He said this is a good important, especially for in Nigeria where we have oil pollutions. We can solve this problem for clean water and in the rest of that. So seeing what the different angles or the different problems my project could solve, this motivated me the more, because I remember there was a point where I was like, maybe I can just do the basic ones I could do here. But that's network, seeing what more you can do was another kind level of motivation that pushed me to go on and then apply for this Commonwealth scholarship. So I just wanted to add that as well.
Right. Thank you for that. Did you intentionally prepare towards this scholarship?
Okay, like I just
To
mentioned
apply
now,
for
yeah,
it?
it
Yes.
was intentional, even though
Yeah.
at the start it was not Commonwealth split side scholarship, but I was preparing for scholarship. I was very, very intentional about it, looking at how to align my research interest with development impacts. And then I focused on meeting the key requirements such as strong academic performance. So right from when I finished my BSc, I came out with a 2-1. I was disappointed. I should have made a first class, because I know that if you make a first class, you're much more position. So I made up my mind that, okay, for my master's, my target was that I wanted to make all A's in my master's courses. Unfortunately, I didn't make that, but I made A's except for 2 of the courses. So it positioned me better. I made a distinction from my master. So having a good a strong academic performance is also another important aspect, because you can imagine if the minimum requirement is 2-1. So it will get to a stage where they will start screening out, okay, who had first class, who had 2-1, okay, who did a master's, who made a distinction, who made a credit. So this is how you prepare yourself. Then having a clear research proposal that is relevant to the problem you want to address is also another important factor. Then the other thing I will talk about preparation. So your Commonwealth split site application, you should be able to show a link between your home university and then the university you're intending to go do your research at. So if you just wake up and then you choose any university and submit, you're not going to get it, because there should be a link. And how do you show some of those links? Maybe you have someone in that school or the prospective supervisor in that school. You should have been able to do some research with them. It could be a conference paper you presented together. It could be a review paper you've written together. There should be something to show, yes, that is a link, that is a connection already existing between your home university and then the university you are going to apply for. So this was something that did apply for me, because the first time I applied, I wasn't successful, and the message I got was that on something like, unfortunately, you will not say, but because we didn't find a link between your home university and the University of Birmingham. Then I was already in connection with this person in the University of Birmingham. I was already making preparations. Oh, I didn't know, oh, this link was that so important. So by the time I applied the next year, I had published papers with this person, I think I had 2 papers published. And I was very intentional about it. I told my PhD home supervisor, and my prospective supervisor, I got everybody together we worked together. We all had publications together. In fact, at some point, we found that an interest in applying for a grant, something we did even applied for a grant, even though that grant was not successful. But all of these were evidences to show that, yes, there is actually a link between what I'm doing at the University of Nigeria and then what I was going to do at the University of Birmingham.
Okay, so does it mean you were working with this person? You made application, but you didn't show that link, and then it didn't go through.
Yeah, I had this connection with this person. I was working with her, but I didn't know I needed to show a link. So
Right.
that's why I say I was preparing, but I didn't know I was preparing myself.
You
You
see,
understand?
that's what they say. People perish for lack of knowledge. Yeah.
Mm.
So just because you couldn't show this link,
Exactly.
you couldn't get the scholarship. So
Yeah.
to sum up what he has said, if you want something like this, you should start making preparation towards it. If there is a university abroad, particularly in the UK, because this scholarship is offered in the UK, start making links between your university and that university with respect to the person you want to work with. That will definitely strengthen your application and position you on the path of success. That was good to know because people don't know these things.
Yeah, most people don't know about this, but
Right. So as part of your application, I'm sure you would have ask people to write references for you. How did you go about the references? Did you ask your doctoral supervisors or your supervisors who perhaps are part of the team already?
Yeah, these are another very important aspect of the application. So in selecting a referees, it's very important to select people who know your academic and then research abilities and could write a strong reference for you. With reference, that this generic reference that people just write, this is another part of being successful in your application. If a very good reference could make a difference. So I chose my PhD supervisor. He was supervising me then. He was also the person who supervised my master's program, and he taught me in my undergraduate period. So he knows me very well. He knows my academic capabilities, and he understands my research. I've worked closely with him. In fact, during my time in a student union body, when I was faculty president, he was the staff advisor. So we had this close relationship. So he could write a lot about me in giving me reference. So that was me. Then also the second reference I used was the senior academic who also taught me both my undergraduates and my masters. And then coincidentally, during my final year, he was the one who was in charge of our exams record. So he knows all of my results. Same thing in masters. So he could write about me. There's a difference that someone just knows you as a lecturer, but he can't write something about you. So when you choose someone who understands and knows details about you, it helps in getting a very good and stronger reference. So that is what I will advise in that aspect for getting reference.
Yes, some people treat references like a tick box exercise.
Yeah.
That they have asked for this number of references. I'm just going to tell people, write this, write that. And then they write it. It's not strong. The application they have made may have been weak in one way or the other. And the references are not there to support those weak points. And ultimately, it leads to rejection. So you should always try and get people who know you. And there was a case I had. Somebody came to me for reference. Actually, I taught this person, but I didn't know them that well to write about them. So I asked them if they could provide their CV. And they left, never came back with a CV. And said I wasn't ready to write a reference for them. I'm asking them for CV as if I'm going to offer them a job. Then,
not knowing you needed the CV to put up a very strong reference.
Yes, and then this guy left. He never came back. And as you could rightly expect, he didn't get the scholarship because I didn't write it. And I made it clear to him, look, if I can't get your CV, I can't write your reference. So it's either you change who is your referee or you bring the CV. And I never heard from them. They never replied. And that was it. And that was why I wanted us to talk about this referee. People think that it's just a tick box thing. It's very important. It's an important aspect of your CV, of your application.
Yeah.
There are things you won't be able to address in your CV, in your application, but your referee is going to address that. And if it's somebody who is known internationally, that helps a lot.
Yeah, this thing you said now, I just remembered something because in completing the Commonwealth scholarship applications, there are a lot of things to write, and you are limited with word counts of what to write. So I was lucky to, because we are the one to attach the references, so it will come to you. So you will say, okay, you discuss this and all, and then sometimes I know, even when the one that didn't come to me, I know the kind of things he's going to write from the previous references he's written for me. So I avoid wasting my word counts writing on those areas. Then I focus on those other areas in order to get a good application.
Were you interviewed?
No. For the Commonwealth scholarship, there was no scholarship. There was no interview.
Yeah, so some scholarships will eventually lead to interview. And
Yeah.
people who have had those interviews will tell me that they literally print their documents with the references. Sometimes they ask questions from the references people have given. They ask you questions from there. So these people take these things very seriously. It's not a tick box exercise.
Mm.
Right. So I wanted to ask how you ended up at University of Birmingham. So you started talking to this person
Yeah.
from the previous conversation.
Mm.
Could you just say how you met this person, how it all happened, and every other thing that may be important for people to know?
Yeah, it actually happened from my network. Like I mentioned, I had good persons around me. So someone from my network mentioned me to someone else. That's oh, I know someone who is working in this area, and if this person is in this area, I could connect them to, because I was looking for mentors then. I was looking at someone to mentor me. So yeah, I know someone who can mentor you. That was how I was connected to this person to mentor me, and it was a very strong mentorship, because at some point I wanted to run away, but I'm happy I did not run away, because you must you know there are things that I learned a different type of mentorship working under this person. You go, you
Yeah,
expect them to put on the camera and then start teaching you,
yeah,
teach you. The mentorship was like, go and do this. But I've not done it before. So that is why you have to do it for the first time. Then I go on to do it. I come back, I make mistakes. Then she will correct. That was the mentor. That was the learning for me. So from
yeah,
there, I could see the areas I did well, and then the areas I didn't do well. Because this person is
yeah,
very busy, and
yeah,
there'll be no time for all of that. So just go and do this. When I do and I come back, then she can ask you, okay, that was how I learned. We started writing publications, doing a lot of things, and that was how we established that link. I learned she was teaching in the University of Birmingham. So
mm,
uh, that was where how the University of Birmingham came into the picture, the first place. But then also the strong research alignment with my field, and then
mm,
like I mentioned, the expertise of this person, and then the availability of facilities and the academic environment to support my research goal. All of this played a role in me ending up at the University of Birmingham.
right. So mentorship.
Very important.
Maybe I should say one or two things.
Okay.
A lot of people don't realize the importance of mentorship. When you talk about mentorship, from a background, people think that it should be somebody who is literally going to teach you how to do this, do that, and perhaps even give you some cash. There are things you learn from people that money can't buy. Never. Money can never buy. I remember my experience. I served at University of Benin. I made a first in chemistry, went to youth service in Edo State, and got posted to University of Benin. As luck or God or whatever you want to attribute this to could have it. I ended up with University of Benin was where my external examiner came from. And he was in Faculty of Sciences. And this person was dean. So when I went to University of Benin, I went there to greet the man, not because of anything, but when I went there to greet him, he now said, "Where did you know me from?" I said, "You were my external examiner," and asked me a few things. And then he called the person who was doing posting that I should be posted to his office. So within my service year, this person was really good. Within my service year, within 1 year, I came back with 3 publications.
Oh.
Within that same year, I came back with a PhD admission at University of Hull.
Oh.
It was on this person's laptop that I learned how to use a laptop. So this person exposed me to lots of things by saying, do this, do that. So I was teaching. I would teach, and after teaching, I'll be writing papers from previous work, supervising students, guiding them. And from that, I was able to get some papers. And those papers helped me a lot to secure a PhD position and eventually positioned me to continue writing. And that formed a strong foundation when it comes to writing as far as my experience is concerned. So mentorship is very important.
Yeah, one thing I want to
yes.
Sorry. One thing I want to add here is that that's mentorship mentee relationship. It has more to do with the person that is being mentored than the mentor itself. So it has more because it is how you show interest, how you position your mentor that will determine the time, more time they will bring out for you. So if you show yourself that you're willing to learn and then you're capable to deliver, you will get more time and then more attention and more information from your mentor than if you're just there waiting to be spoon-fed everything.
Yes. Right. So along the line, I had other mentors as well, and it has been the same. My doctorate supervisor, apart from being my supervisor, was also my mentor. There are things I have learned from him that other students couldn't learn from their supervisors for one reason or the other. So mentorship is very important. So did you write some essays?
Yeah. The application requires a research proposal and personal statement.
Yeah.
I think I had to download my application summary so that I can be able to talk about all of the different things you're going to write. So
that's very helpful.
You're going to write on 4 key development impact. The first one focuses on problem statements, relevance of proposed study, and then the expected development contribution. And then there's another one. The second one is development impact part 2, the one that focuses on how the applicants will apply the knowledge and skills after returning home to their home country. Then development impact part 3, the one that focuses on long-term impacts, innovation, dissemination, outreach, and contribution to your home country. Then the development impact part 4 focuses on how you're going to measure the impact of work, how you're going to evaluate that your work has been impactful after. Then you are going to write on a career plan, your 5-year award career plan. That's like the short-term plan. There's a place you're going to write something on that as well, and you're going to write on your long-term career plan. So you could talk about your long-range professional and research ambitions. Then you're going to have more like a summary, a short outline, summarize what your research should be for. Well, this is a PhD, so you should have known what you are doing. You must have done your first year, and then you now have a plan. So you should be able to bring out an outline, a summary of what your research, what you've been doing, what you've done so far, then what is remaining. Then a detailed plan of the part of the research you are going to do for this scholarship, the introduction, the rationale, the methodology, the significance, and the timeline. Then your statement, which will cover your academic background, your motivation, your suitability, your leadership, and then the reasons for choosing the UK. Then that also the part that where you have to write voluntary and leadership experience. So you should have been able to show leadership experience, maybe from your previous leadership roles, community engagement, teamwork. So a knowledge of all of these things helps you to start early to start preparing. So there are a lot of things to write, but I just have to focus on the ones where you have to write essays of maybe 50 words, 100 words, 200 words. So these are the ones I just pointed out now.
Right. So how did you approach this? This sounds like a lot.
Yeah, it's quite a lot. That is why you have to start very, very, very early. And you don't just wake up and say, this year now I want to apply for scholarship. Like I told you, I was preparing myself, consciously preparing myself from the graduates. I've always known I wanted to do this kind of thing. So every opportunity to learn something, I was taking it. I was, like I mentioned, I was faculty president. All of these things I was strategically positioning myself for leadership position, because I knew that some of these things will feed into something somewhere in the future. I didn't know where, I didn't know how. I went into my master's, like I mentioned, I wanted to make good grades. And then during my master's, I got involved in tutorials. I was doing tutorials as a master's student. So that was teaching for me. After my master's, I took up some roles at the university as a practical instructor. So I was doing all of these and then keeping records of all of them. But I was preparing. Then I hadn't known about Commonwealth split site scholarship. So by the time this opportunity came, I had a lot of things. I had a lot of evidences. I had a lot of things to write. At some point you start struggling with word count because you have enough to present in your application. So you have to do starting early. So anybody who is listening to me now, who is already maybe doing a PhD, if you've not prepared, then you may not necessarily be the best person to get this. So anybody who wants to go this path now, maybe you're still in your undergraduate studies and you're listening to me, it's time to start preparing. Or maybe you're already doing your master's. This is time to start preparing and then start gathering as much evidences, experiences as you can.
Right. So still on this, there is a course I have created, how to make a strong and competitive postgraduate scholarship application. The course covers everything you need to know to make a strong and a competitive postgraduate scholarship application. And some of the things Nnaji is talking about, I've addressed them in the course. If you take the course, your chances of securing a scholarship will greatly enhance because this is practical experience. It's not theoretical experience. The things he is talking about are very important, but some people take them for granted. And in that course, I've gone in depth to talk about what you need to put in place to make your dream of securing a scholarship come true. He's talking about early preparation. Some people wait until after they've graduated. Then they suddenly realize that, oh, people are getting scholarships, so I should apply for it too. These scholarships are competitive. You won't be the right candidate for it. So the time for you to start is now. If you are a bachelor student, start now. If you are a master student, start now. If you are a PhD student, and this scholarship in particular, this commonwealth scholarship is for those who are pursuing doctoral studies. So it's just the right time for you. If you've had a couple of years behind, there are still things you can still do to position you in the right direction to secure the scholarship. So to sum it up, he said, early preparation is key. The link to the course I've talked about is in the video description. So let's continue. So what has been your experience so far with this scholarship?
Yeah, my experience has been academically enriching, very transformative for. It's been very transformative for me professionally. It has provided me access to strong, research supervision, and then I met a lot of people. International collaboration. I met a lot of people because of this doing this scholarship, and I was exposed to advanced methodologies and I did a lot of things to strengthen my research. My PhD research, I did already published 2 reviews from it in strong journals, not anyhow journals, and then I have 2 primary research that are under review. In fact, one just came back yesterday with minor comments, which is a good sign for me. I still have a third paper I'm working on from my PhD, and all of these are still going to be published in a very strong journal, still positioning me better for things that are ahead. So it's been a very wonderful experience, which I'm very, very grateful to the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission and the University of Birmingham for.
Good. So, talking about publications, from where we've come from, people believe that publication is publication. What do you have to say about that? People have sent me in their CVs to review for global talent. I've received a couple of CVs. The 5th one is currently with me, and I haven't reviewed it. And when they send these CVs, I see that what they are calling publication is actually not publications. And you see them with lots of them. Somebody had up to 20 of those publications. Somebody had up to 25. And I was just imagining if this person had published correctly, what a chance they would have stand. Is there anything you want to say about publications?
Publication is not publication. Just like my PhD supervisor will always say, he calls them mushroom journals. Sorry to use that word. But yeah, to be fair, there are quality journals. If you're trying to publish your work, first of all, you have to do your work very well, and then if you do your work very well, you can publish you look out for Q1 journals, and then look out for journals with impact factor. And I have a personal experience from this. It was something I applied for, and one of the reasons why I didn't get it, they said, yeah, I have publications, I had reviews in good journals as well, which are PubMed index, but they were particular about the number of primary research. You understand? So, and then coming from University of Nigeria, I did publish my master's, but to publish in these reputable journals, my master's research, I won't say I published it in a strong journal, which would have been a good point for me to say, okay, I already have a primary research published in a strong journal. So the mistake I made was that my 2 publications from my master's, one was published in a journal, I don't think it was strong enough, and then the other one I had to publish it in a conference. So it was already out there. So if I had published that, even if it was just one of them, then I didn't know all of this. If I had published one of them maybe in a strong journal, maybe I would have stood a better chance. So as a result of that, I told myself all my PhD publications are going to be in Q1 journals, and then even the reviews that I've published, they're in Q1 journals. And then these 2 other papers that's primary research, I also submitted to Q1 journals. The 3rd one I'm working on now will also make sure it goes to Q1 journal. So like I said, you just don't go and find the Q1 journal and put your paper, because if you don't do your work very well, if you don't have a strong publication, it will be rejected. So
Right.
Publications are not publication.
Publication is not publication.
Yeah.
So if you are publishing in those low quality journals, you are shooting yourself in the back, because your publications will definitely count where you are, where people don't know the value of this kind of things. But as soon as you step out of that institution, and I'm referring to institution because even within the same country, there are universities that will tell you that, no, this is not a publication. We don't accept this here.
Exactly.
So if you are lucky to be in a university where publication is publication, and you are doing this kind of things, know that you are shooting yourself in the back. By the time you need something from another university, they will tell you that you don't have publications. And it will be too late. You'll be disappointed, you'll be frustrated, but the truth is publication is not publication. There are high impact factor journals, high peer review journals. Elsevier publishes good journals, some societal journals, Royal Society of Biology, Royal Society of Chemistry,
Springer
Royal
Nature.
Society of Physics, Springer,
Nature.
American Chemical Society, American Society of Biology, American Society of Engineers. All of these, once you start publishing in one, you will see that the kind of papers they have cited in their publications, you will get exposed to different papers, different journals, different places you can actually publish your paper. So publication is not publication. If you are listening to us, take this as a warning. Publication is not publication, because if you publish wrongly, it will affect you all through your career and academic journey. If you want to be in academics, even if you want to be in the industry, these things still count. Right.
Okay,
So
let me add one more thing before you go.
it's all right.
For people who intend to apply for scholarships, whether it is Commonwealth, PhD, or any other scholarship, and then maybe you are back home in Nigeria or maybe in a country. I know that publishing in a good journal could be challenging because most people do not. The fee is very high, and then most of the universities back home do not have agreement with some of these journals for their students or their lecturers or academics to publish free with them. So it becomes a challenge for someone who wants to apply for something and then wants to have a strong publication. One thing you can do, like I always say, you have to be intentional. Genuinely, you can find a mentor. Go to schools where you want to apply for, write emails to you can find someone who is interested in what you're doing, and genuinely you write something that is very good, not just anyhow to write something that is very strong, and find a way to ask for collaboration with this person. If you have something that is good, the person could be interested in what you're doing and collaborate with you, and through that network you could find yourself publishing in a good and then wonderful journals. So don't limit yourself. It was something I did, and then it worked for me. So I took my time, and that time was after COVID-19 was trending everywhere. So I wrote a very strong paper on the COVID-19. Got my supervisor, looked at it, made sure it was very good. Brought it to this person. She looked at it, and then there were a lot of things changed. So for the fact that I made it look presentable in the first place, the person got interested and then brought in her own perspective. So we changed the paper and it became solid. And I remember the first we published some, we put into different journals, they will reject, we come back, we'll do corrections, and then kept on submitting until it was published in a good journal. I think that paper was one of the strong journals I put in my application, and it helped me. So you must not publish primary research now. Strong reviews, do strong literature reviews in your area of research, and then try to find a way to get it published in a strong journals. Is a good plus for you in your applications.
Excellent for bringing that up. So what would be your best advice for someone who wants to apply for scholarship in the future?
Yeah, like I said, start early and then focus on a strong, well-defined research that addresses a developmental issue. It is going to have an impact into development in your home country. Then you have to make sure that the impact is clear, and then choose your referees carefully, like we mentioned, because reference is a very strong part of this application. So having a poor reference poor reference could be something that will kick you out. But you have a strong application, but then someone else also has a strong application and has a better recommendation. So also align your application with both your home country's need with the strengths of the university you are applying to go do your research. So most importantly, be precise and then realistic rather than overly broad in your research goals. So have a strong and impactful research aim and then goals that you want to address with your research. So that's my advice to someone who wants to apply for this scholarship in future.
Thank you. That's way useful. So if somebody wants to connect with you, how will they do that? They want to contact you.
I'm very, very active on LinkedIn. So my name is Nnaji Darlington Nnaji. If you just search Nnaji Darlington Nnaji on LinkedIn, you're gonna find me. I think I'm the only person that has those three combinations of name on LinkedIn.
Okay, right. So thank you, Nnaji. If I have something again, I can still call you and we'll talk about it. And if you are listening to us, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel because we'll be doing more of this, and this will help you with your scholarship application. Putting these resources to help people who want to secure scholarship but don't know how to do it, because a lot of people are interested in this, but they don't know how. So we're putting out these resources to help them. You can share this video with people who you think are interested, and you can also leave your comments. Let us know what your experience about scholarship application has been. How, if you have applied and got rejected, what was the reason for your rejection? We want to know. Maybe we can come up with something that will address that problem for you in the future. And thank you again, Nnaji.
Thank you very much, Andrew. I really appreciate this opportunity to talk on my experience from the Commonwealth Split Site Scholarship. Thank you very much.
No worries.